U.S. President Joe Biden says Congress' failure to provide financial aid for Ukraine is, and I quote, close to criminal neglect. He made this remark in a meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who was in Washington to discuss matters on Ukraine, NATO and Israel. Nick Harper reports.
Joe Biden and Olaf Scholz have met 6 times while in the positions of President and Chancellor, the last time in July at the NATO summit, which is perhaps fitting as the war in Ukraine and its impact on the NATO alliance reportedly dominated much of their discussions on Friday. This week, the US Senate failed to pass a bill that could have provided around $60 billion in aid to Ukraine. Republicans in the House of Representatives, who would have voted on the proposal next, had already signalled their considerable opposition to it. For now, new US assistance for Kiev remains in limbo, a worrying situation for US allies in Europe. There was no press conference after the Biden-Scholz meeting, but before they started in on their discussions, the two leaders spoke briefly about the main topics they were focusing on.
Congress, we have to pass the national security spending package now. Our House members are being somewhat reluctant. Hopefully it's more politics than real. The failure of the United States Congress, if it occurs, not to support Ukraine is close to criminal neglect. It is outrageous.
Germany and the United States have to play a role to keep peace in the world. And this is especially so looking at the Russian aggression against Ukraine. And hopefully the House will follow you and make a decision on giving the necessary support, because without the support of the United States and without the support of the European states, Ukraine will have not a chance to defend its own country.
Germany is now the second largest provider of money to Ukraine after the United States. Earlier on Friday, Scholz met with US senators, after which he said he was confident that a decision on further military aid for Ukraine would be made soon. However, there are lingering concerns about the US's relationship with NATO if Biden does not win a second term in November's election. Former President Donald Trump, Biden's likely challenger, has threatened to withdraw military and financial assistance that would support Ukraine in its fight against Russia, as well as questioning whether the US should remain part of the Western military alliance. Nick Harper, CNA, Washington.